Welcome, everyone, to the Power of One podcast. My name is Jenifer Page. I am the president of Champions for CASA. And as you know, Emilio Swan, my co-host, is proudly serving our country. He is an active duty U.S. Marine. And so today we are joined by Alex Bernal, who, Alex, as everyone probably has met you before, you served as his foster parent for a while.
I did. I had the honor to be his foster parent, and I have the honor to be here sitting in the seat he's supposed to be in, so I hope I make him proud today.
We're lucky to have you. And we're joined today by Robynn Bell, who is the Deputy Director at Child Haven. So,
yes, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. This is incredible for me. I have a foster youth that I'm supporting right now currently who's in Child Haven. So I can't wait for today's episode.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
To learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
So maybe you can get us started and describe for us what Child Haven is and what you do.
Sure. Yeah, so Child Haven is a temporary emergency shelter for babies, children, teenagers. It's really designed to be a temporary placement for them as they transition into what we would hope to be a longer term placement, whether that be with a relative, a kinship family member, or whether it's an actual licensed foster family. But it's really meant to kind of serve as that transition placement for them as an emergency placement for a while. It is deemed currently as a licensed daycare facility. So with that in mind, we do not provide like psychiatric services or things of that nature to the kids while they're there.
So mostly housing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. So needed.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I am familiar with Child Haven. What does it look like for a youth in the day-to-day operations of a Child Haven campus?
So I think it really depends. It depends on a couple different things. We do have programming that is available for all of the children that are on the campus. Children are placed in cottages based off of their that are age appropriate, and after there's an intake process conducted to determine kind of where they would fit best on campus. Programming consists of multiple things. During the school year, it includes going to school. Generally, we are trying to maintain those kids in their school of origin so that they can have some normalcy. On the weekends, it's going to consist of various activities, outings. We are trying to create an environment for these kids that allows them to be able to have something that is normal, nurturing, safe for them as they hopefully kind of are in this this limbo of transitioning into a longer term placement. So really our goal is to provide them with as much support as they go through that process, safety, and then just some normal kid activities that they're able to participate in while they're waiting for them.
You know, and I work for the county. What I love is that I'm able to, when there's an event going on at one of our rec centers, there's an event in our parks, I just love sending out those flyers over to on the campus and then watching those kids come out and have fun on a weekend or during the holidays. You know, we opened up facilities for the youth at Child Haven during winter breaks, spring breaks, and stuff like that. We want them to come and enjoy our recreation centers, enjoy our swimming pools. We want you coming out of there and have some of that normalcy.
Absolutely, absolutely. We really do feel like that's an important piece of kind of the experience that the kids have while they're on campus. Oftentimes the kids that are on campus have come through some kind of significant traumatic event. So as we're, again, looking for that longer term placement, oftentimes those small activities gives them a couple moments to kind of reflect back to, again, just those age appropriate and normal type of activities in the community that they would otherwise be participating in, whether it's a football game, at a school, going to a skating rink. We just a couple of weeks ago, they went to the Claw arcade. We take them to indoor trampoline areas over spring break, winter break. We have lots of activities set up for them, glittering lights for them to go out and again just experience a lot of those same things that they would hopefully experience in their home.
They don't have to miss out.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's fantastic. Can you talk to me a little bit about your goals? Short-term, mid-term, long-term goals?
Short-term goals, I mean, really, when a kiddo comes into or onto campus, we really are wanting to meet those basic needs. So figure out kind of what is going to meet what they need individually. Each child is at a different journey coming into campus. So really that initial intake process that's conducted helps us to evaluate what is going to meet their basic needs. Currently, we have quite a few kiddos on campus that are neurodivergent or maybe have some additional support that they may need. And so really that initial intake process allows us to evaluate how we may need to modify or flex whatever we have for our usual programming to meet them where they are and allow them to be able to be successful and feel supported while on campus.
That's amazing. I hadn't really even considered, all the intricacies of that and making sure that each child feels like they fit in where they are. That's great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
How does Child Haven interact with CASA?
So a multitude of ways. Everything from whether we're looking at the education needs of kiddos on campus, again, as they are maybe needing different things in the community. So for instance, IEPs. We may be needing help with getting kiddos the services in the schools that they're needing. So maybe, again, it's a community, it's a family, right? So legal aid, it may be CASA, it may be different partners that help in meeting and advocating for that child to get what they need while at school in order to help with their academic success. I think one of the most critical things that a CASA can do is allow them that one-on-one to be kind of the spotlight and to be the person that is really just hearing their story and their needs at the moment. And I think that's very helpful. Again, as they go through this journey into this longer term placement, it can be a lot. It's very confusing. There's a whole bunch of people that you're talking to with all different kind of pieces to the puzzle. And so I think classes allow them maybe to have a centering component where they can kind of have someone to discuss all of those things and then maybe even give them some direction on what to expect.
So Robynn, my next question is kind of a two-part question. So first of all, I know you offer some life skills and some different skill setting things that you do there. And then the second part of that would be, are there things specifically that CASA volunteers can do to help support that when we're out with our kids or things that we're working with the kids on?
Absolutely. So we do again have programming on campus for each of the cottage. So programming is going to be conducive to the age appropriateness. So for life skills, I think it looks a little different depending on which cottage. Some of it's a byproduct of the support mechanisms that we placed for the kids. So for instance, maybe our school age kids. Those kids may be getting different life skills around maybe coping, how to deal with evaluating some of the feelings that are associated with kind of where they've been going, maybe even what occurred prior to coming in Child Haven. So those coping skills are things that we do group sessions. We have community partners come in and do different kinds of groups to talk about different kind of themes for the week maybe or for the month. So those things are placed kind of on program for them to participate in and to share as they so see fit. But we also have different things for our teens. Whether it is filling out resumes. We partner a lot with our Family Services Independent Living Program to kind of incorporate some things for them so that they know what to expect as they kind of move forward into this more adult type of age category. And so we do that in combination with, again, just a lot of smaller groups for each cottage to allow them an opportunity to learn different things just to kind of help them feel a little bit more confident as they progress. And so it really just depends. Right now, we are looking at implementing a few more work groups around healthy relationships and how to identify that as teens kind of get older and try to maneuver and go through the avenues of establishing like what those relationships look like. We want them to have maybe some guides on, these are some things to look at and these are some prompts to know when you're maybe moving into an unhealthy relationship. So those kinds of groups are one of the things that we have on calendar right now, along with some other things that we're working with the Attorney General's office on around trafficking or substance abuse and just kind of things, those conversations. We really, with the teens, we want to spark the conversation, have some engagement, give them an opportunity to be practical and feel safe about being practical. Whether we agree or disagree with kind of their perspective on things, I really think it's about establishing a trust level to allow them to be able to share that information, and then hopefully get some information from our side for them to consider.
And going back to the part about CASAs and what we can do support,
Yes.
are there things that we should know, right? Because a lot of our audience will be CASA volunteers or people becoming CASA volunteers.
Yes.
So are there specific things that we could do to help support?
Absolutely. So along those lines with the programs and workshops, work groups, we have a multitude of different organizations that come in to facilitate different types of events. Oftentimes, we always have staff that are dedicated to kind of supervise those events, but it really is helpful to have additional support, especially, I kind of mentioned earlier, we have some of our kids that maybe require a lot more one-on-one, especially when attending some of these events. So having a CASA there to kind of help with, even if it's just participating in the event or kind of helping with maneuvering the kiddos through the event stations. We do a lot of things with the Las Vegas Raiders, which is great, but it's a fairly large facility. So, right. So having as many hands on deck to help out with that is amazing. I also think the really cool part about participating in some of these, which really is a volunteer opportunity for CASAs, is it's an ability for you to have a direct connection with those kids, kind of a just-in-time moment with them while they're participating in the activities. Again, it allows you to be able to kind of advocate, encourage, and really some of our kids just need that additional boost of confidence. And so even during some of these activities, I think it's a great opportunity for a CASA to come in and just have that direct interaction.
Yeah, I've participated in a couple myself, not as a CASA volunteer, but just as a community volunteer, right? I was at one of the recent events where we hosted a dinner and was able to do that. And it was so great just to be able to talk to the kids and, have conversations about, what they wanted, what their hopes and dreams were. I mean, anything.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
I just love your passion when you're speaking about Child Haven. Your energy is just so positive. And I love when you call them kiddos. Oh my God. I'm over there like, oh, she called them kiddos. And you wouldn't stop. Normally a person will correct themselves when they say kiddo. You kept on. I was like, keep going with kiddos. I just love it. In your opinion, what does a success look like to Child Haven?
And I'll add a caveat. I won't say the word kiddos around our teams, because when we go to the teams, it's absolutely not kiddos. But when I'm not around them, I will keep using the term. I'm not the only one. Okay, great. I appreciate that. No one will see. So success. I think I actually think that's a multifaceted response. I think it really depends. I know for us, our number one aspect of identifying success is really just kind of making sure the kids are in a safe environment where they can get their basic needs met. Outside of that, I think it becomes a little bit more fluid, because I think that, again, it depends on each child as they come in. For us, success along those lines is going to be dependent upon our ability to coordinate resources for them based off of what we've identified as kind of their individualized journey. And being able to do that within a group setting, because, again, we've got lots of kids on campus. All of them have different needs. All of them have different backgrounds. And so even sibling groups, when we have sibling groups come in, oftentimes their experience and how they are processing perhaps the trauma that they've been through, which landed them there at Child Haven, is very different. I think for us, success really is about making sure that part of the customer service component from public service is met, and we're doing it consistently.
As a foster parent, those kids that are coming into that campus and they've never been there before, it can be quite scary. And to get there in that transition from Child Haven handing over the youth to a foster parent, I just love getting in the car and I'm driving with that youth and I ask them, like, how was your experience, or how did you? I just love that they'll say, oh, I love Mr. So he was so funny, or he was this. I just love that, knowing that the value of love and support and consistency with the youth, and then handing over that same youth over to me, and I just got to continue that. And I just love that about Child Haven.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I feel very passionate about for Child Haven campus is understanding that each moment is a teachable moment. You never know when that one conversation, that one interaction, that one activity, because becomes kind of like that core memory for kiddos, and it really allows them to sometimes process and make some decisions and perspective changes as they continue through this journey, whether that's, again, placement with a relative, placement with a kinship, placement with a foster family. Those roads can be very different, but sometimes those core conversations really are things that they reflect on even months, years after having come through child giving.
Yeah. So is there anything you'd like the community to know? Is there any way, is there any support you're looking for them, or anything that they can do as a whole, we can do as a whole, to better support Child Haven and the kids we serve?
So first off, I would love the community to know that we appreciate everything. We get so much support from the community already. So we, just absolutely appreciate it on behalf of the kids. I think that, we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for people that are interested in coming in to just, again, assist with any of those, activities. It may be sitting with a child while they are watching a movie. Maybe it's just walking with a child back from the basketball court, back to the cottage after maybe having an escalated moment, and, debriefing and just kind of talking things through. But I think, that's kind of those invaluable things that the community can do. I think also, maybe even considering becoming a CASA. I will also say that we're always looking for foster families. While we want kids to have the best experience while they're on campus, it is an emergency temporary placement. So the more families we have in the community, that allows us to be able to kind of transition those kids into the better for them, because it kind of gets them back to a really stable and more consistent
like
placement.
Home,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So those are things that we would love the community just to kind of maybe take a couple additional seconds to consider as supports that they can assist with for the campus.
Excellent.
Great job.
And thank you to everyone watching today, joining us at the Power of One podcast. We really appreciate you being here. And as always, consider becoming a CASA volunteer, helping kids in some way, getting involved as a community member with Child Haven, becoming a foster parent, doing anything for these kids. They deserve us. So thank you, everyone.
A future starts again, one voice, one